How you doing? This is Melvin Brown. Welcome back to Melvin Brown Experience. Today is not going to be a story time, but today is going to be another topic. And this topic, I want to talk about this because this is very important for people. Logic is key when it comes to manifestation. I don't care if you're trying to manifest a house. I don't care if you're trying to manifest women in your life, men in your life. I don't care. You have to be logical. Now, I remember a few months ago, a client come to me, yo, Melvin, I want a house. I'm like, okay, cool. Can we do a ritual? I said, hold up. Before we even do the ritual, what is your background like? What is your credit score and everything? What are you doing? Remind you, my client has money and everything. So when she came back to me and she was like, yo, Melvin, this is my credit score. And I say, yo, just build it up. How much do you got in your bank account? Let me remind you, she just got a lawsuit settlement and she just got banked. So I told her, I said, yo, baby girl, basically what you got to do, pay that debt off, get your credit score high a little bit, and you should be good. She said, all right, cool. I'm going to call you back in a few months. A few months later, she called me and she's like, yo, Melvin, can we do the ritual now? I said, all right, cool. Before I do a ritual, I want to give it 3 weeks. She was like, Melvin, what are you talking about? I said, I want you, just pick any house that you want in a nice neighborhood and see what happens. She's like, Melvin, but why are you asking me to do that? My eyes are stuck on this one house. I said, yo, just trust me. I want to show you something. So she picked a house in a nice ass town full of white people. What wound up happening was the real estate agent said, okay, if you like the house, I'm going to get back to you. What wound up happening 2 weeks later, the real estate agent gave her some bad news. Like, hey, somebody else bought the property and everything. Sorry to give you bad news. Turn out that was a bold-faced lie. And turn out that house was still for sale. To be honest with you, she didn't want to give it to a black person. Racism still exists. And when she saw that shit, she was shocked. And I said, you see what I mean by that? You see what I mean by give me like a week or a couple of days? You see what I mean? She's like, yeah, racism still exists. You got to understand, you're an African-American woman. And just the fact that you're a black woman trying to have enough money to afford this house, most real estate agents be like, you know what? Okay, that's more money in my pocket. To lie and say some bullshit. That's discrimination, and it is what it is. So we wound up doing a ritual. She got the house that she wanted. But if it wasn't for that experience, more than likely, she probably just would have fell for the okie doke. You have to understand, when it comes to magic, anything that you're trying to manifest can have a small, bumpy blockage, a bumpy road or a blockage. So I remember doing money work for a client, and basically she didn't know that she had inheritance because her mom passed away a year ago. So when the family lawyer called her and said, hey, I have a check here for you. I've been trying to get in reach for you for a long time that I had to really dig deep and do some investigation and find out what's your real number. Turned out her fucking sister gave the lawyer the wrong number purposely because out of envy and jealousy, because I don't know how much the money the sister was getting, but my client didn't even know that her name was on a will. Didn't even know. And remind you, her mom died a few months ago. Everybody else got their checks. But my client was like, how come I'm not getting a check? Turned out everybody else was eating and being stable and everything. And my client felt like she was being left out, all because of a lie. Bumpy roads like that happens when you're trying to manifest anything. That's why logical circumstances are very important when you practice magic. Let's continue. Obsession spells. Now, when I look at obsession spells, it's more of the last resort of something. If you're throwing a love spell at somebody, you better make sure this person is going to be the person that you want to spend the rest of your life with, because if you don't have that intention, it can get real. Now, logic is key. I always tell people, emotions over logic, logic always win. Now, some of y'all come to me and y'all be like, yo, Melvin, help me, please. Some of y'all lost your wives. Some of y'all lost your husbands. And y'all be asking for help. And y'all don't ask for a love spell. Y'all ask for an obsession. Now, listen. If there's an obsession spell that's just thrown out in the beginning of the consultation, more than likely, you fucked up bad. And you know this is the last chance. Now, what's going to start happening when you put this obsession spell in the air? You're not going to care about it no more. Because sometimes obsession spells don't take 3 to 6 months. Sometimes a full manifestation of an obsession spell happens within 1.5 years, up to 2 years. And you going about your life. You don't care about the person no more. You moved on with yourself. You found somebody else. Then out of nowhere, you get a phone call. Out of nowhere, you get stalking. And the person keeps stalking you and stalking you and stalking you and stalking you and stalking you to a point that you even try to move out of state. And that person still find out where you at. Look, everybody has a white page. You can be found. And now you're realizing, oh my God, this spell is backfiring me. This is why logic plays a key role. Because when you overly emotional, you're not thinking straight. You're not looking at the long-term effects. You're looking at short-term gratifications. Sometimes whatever you ask a practitioner to do, you can get a long-term effect. And that shit always come to bite you in the ass. That's why I say with magic, logic is key. Let's continue. So some of my clients come to me and they be asking me for general attraction work. Hey, Melvin, can you do a general attraction work for me? I'm just trying to live my life. And sometimes I got to be a casting director. A casting director is somebody, if you got the right script and the right screenplay, you have to look at this person. Do they have the look? I'm not trying to say if you unattractive, it's not going to work. Everybody is meant for everybody. Everybody for everybody. But when it comes to magic, spirits is going to have a tendency of taking the least resistance. So let's just say you are overweight, out of shape, broke, don't got nothing going on for yourself, and you want a general attraction work. And you want the most beautiful, seductive looking woman of this world. Like you want the baddest, what they call fine shit. And since you're not the par, the spirit's going to take the least resistance. You're going to get pieces of shit. For example, you might find a woman that's beautiful, but she's very promiscuous. That means she let anybody hit it. She's like a sexaholic. You might find a woman that is not your type. And since you're not the type of people what they expect, you're going to get a backlash of something that is not your type, and it can keep on coming and coming. I remember this one client years ago. He wanted some work done like that before. Now, I ain't the smartest man in the world. I knew it was going to be some bullshit. So what wound up happening, since he had a job and everything, there was leverage. But he did not have the look. He did not have the swagger. He did not have the confidence. And what did he kept on getting? Women that always wanted to use him. Women who wasn't trying to give up the coochie. Women that just played with this man 24/7. He got mad at me. I told him the reality about himself. He got his shit together. He wound up, going to the gym, a little bit of surgical procedures. And what wound up happening was he started to get the girls that he always wanted. Sometimes you're going to have to sacrifice a part of you. What I mean by put in the work to get what you want. See, people be thinking like, yo, Melvin, you're magical, you're powerful, you can get anything you want. Yo, you have to know your lane. Yes, I could get anything I want, but I choose to keep to myself and mind my motherfucking business. I don't got time for the headaches, and I don't got time for karma debt. So I be chilling. Another thing about being logical when it comes to magic, love magic. So let's just say, hypothetically speaking, you see a beautiful girl or a handsome man. You know this man got options. You know she got options. So you try to even your odds to get the opportunity. What I mean by that is you're trying to throw a love spell. Okay, shit happens. Do you know if you just throwing a love spell at somebody and they don't know you like that, you're not going to get the manifestation of what's going to happen. What's going to happen is that woman or that man might break up with their significant other. Then all of a sudden, they might see somebody else. And then you all in your feelings because you did it wrong. See, logic is very important. You just don't throw a love spell at a stranger that you like a coworker. What you do is you throw liking, communication, you throw a lot more because that takes stages and levels to get what you need to get. And then you get the woman or then you get the man. You got to be consistent talking to this person on a daily basis and making them feel comfortable to hang out with you. Let's continue. Court cases, court cases, court cases. Somehow, some way, some people in this world is going to get jammed up. And if you're trying to do work for yourself and you got a heavy case, you're shit out of luck. The best thing I can recommend for y'all to do, go to a spiritual practitioner that master in that. Because all it takes for court cases is one mistake because you went fair and you decided to do some weird ass candle that you seen on the internet or on TikTok, then all of a sudden you're more jammed up. Have a professional take care of certain situations that you have no knowledge of. I know there are spiritual workers out there that's powerful with love, sex, protection, money, you name it. But a court case ritual, you should not do that on your own. You should have somebody that know what the hell they doing because all it takes is one mistake that you do and you can be in a loophole that you can't get yourself out of. Let's continue. Magic is fun. Magic is beautiful. There's a lot of experience I did with my magic that I didn't even come up with story times about. But at the end of the day, you're going to have to be logical. Like when you go to a spiritual work and you ask for spiritual work, like something has to make sense. Like I remember it was one woman that came to me and she was like, hey, Melvin, I got my baby daddy and I got this other guy that I'm dating. Can you do a spell on both of them? I said, no. And she said, why? I said, because if I do a spell on both of them, somebody going to get hurt. It's either one of them going to get hurt or you're going to be the main one getting hurt. So safety is everything. So I said, look, I'm going to give you about a couple hours, or if not, I'll give you a day and a half. She said, no, just give me a couple hours. So she chose to be with the new dude because baby daddy had some issues. What wound up happening, she's happy ever after, and she's about to get a new house. You have to be very logical. Every decision that you do, you got to look at this. Anything that you do in magic is always going to be a blowback. It might not be a bad blowback, but it's going to be some type of blowback. That's why logical is key. This is Melvin Brown. This is the Melvin Brown Experience. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hit the like button, leave a comment, email me, DM me, subscribe. I'm out.